Hey, happy Wednesday. What are you guys doing? Up so late? Well, it's not really that late. It's 9 o'clock. February 18th, we have a live show. And this is the optional show where I can do it or not. And so far, I've been doing it. Yeah, I have a good time. And I'm grateful that you guys come in. So I have my little shot of caffeine here. And Randy keeps getting these frappe mochas, which is like an iced coffee with chocolate syrup and whipped cream. So this is my own version of it. And the reason I say it's my own version, it's not full of sugar. I used monk fruit to sweeten it, and I used a protein powder as the cream. I did put a teaspoon of Hershey's dark chocolate powder, which is the Dutch process one, which is lower in acidity. So the lower in acidity part is important for me because I'll get like a acid reflux, and then when I go lay down, it's like just too much. So I use the Dutch process. So Hershey's calls it the dark chocolate, and it is darker than what they call their natural. So this is the A7C Mark II. That's the camera I'm kind of featuring tonight because this camera has the most potential. So just right now, the camera is a wonderful camera. But I could just imagine if Sony does the right thing, and you never know, like look at Tesla. What's his name? He's abandoning the car business. Even though it's selling really, really well, he keeps sabotaging the company. So whether you know anything about Tesla or not, or whether you like Tesla or you hate it, that's not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is what's being done. Everything is a negative step for the Tesla car company part of it. So he took his flagship car. This is Elon, okay? He took his flagship car and canceled it. They weren't selling well enough. And that's true. It wasn't selling well enough, okay? And the reason that it wasn't selling well enough is they pay no attention to it. They just had a big refresh on one of their best-selling cars, the Model Y. And that car has been going back and forth with Toyota as the best-selling car in the world. Not the USA, but in the world, okay? And not gasoline or electric. Any car. It's the best-selling car. 1 month it's the best-selling car. The next month, the Toyota, maybe I think the RAV4 or one of those is the best-selling car. So they were due for a refresh on their flagship, which is called the Model S or the Model X. So they got 4. And the 4 letters spell sexy. The Model S, okay, the Model 3, the Model Y, and the Model X. Okay, so some people say the sexy cars from Tesla. So this is the negative things that Elon Musk, it's all at his feet. He presents it. Unless the board has him over a barrel and they're just screwing him over, okay? He canceled the best car, didn't make any attempt on the refresh. The Model the Model Y, maybe it's prophetic, took a huge step forward. All the major complaints, except for one, well, even that one, was addressed on the Model Y. Too noisy. Well, it's 32% quieter. They put sound dampening everywhere. Too much wind noise. Well, it's 28% less wind noise. Okay? So they upped the seals. They put double pane glass on all the glass, all the way around. Not single pane glass, it's double pane glass. So all those wonderful improvements. I live in Miami, so the whole ceiling, the whole roof is glass. So they made the glass so it's 20-something percent, let's say 22% more reflective. I still would like a closing top, okay, where you can push the button and it closes like in a normal car. And that would be my biggest complaint. So they did that. They increased the mileage. And people were going, oh boy, their flagship car, the Model S, the Model X, which is one's a sedan and one is the one with the wings, the falcon wing doors, okay, that open up like this on the sides, okay. And they almost did nothing. They added a camera in the front. They did quiet it down, okay. But the refresh for a car that's over $100,000, and then they go, well, it's not selling. We don't know why. That's Elon Musk's fault, okay? He claims to be at the head and in charge. It's his fault. So what am I going to tell you? Then he canceled that, and he's closing down the production line, and he's changing that over to robots. So the entire company wants to take a different direction, okay? Then Elon Musk, on a personal basis, went political. Doesn't matter what you think, okay, one way or the other, he went political, and the wake of that was any Tesla owner, like me, I would be a Tesla owner, we become a target because they don't like what he did politically. He became great friends with the President of the United States. Then he stabbed the President of the United States in the back. That, all the people that are pro-Trump don't like him now, Musk. Then what he was doing when he was in the government, playing around in the Oval Office, was pissing off the other half. So people that are driving their Teslas were getting cokes thrown at them, getting their cars all keyed, okay, and scratched up, and some people will run off the road. Well, thank you very much, Elon. What was that about? Then you've got some dangerous things, like how many people have died because the car crashed, the car catches on fire, the people are frazzled, their mind is scrambled, they're hurt, and the electric door locks don't work anymore. Where is the mechanical door locks? They're hidden. They're bye-bye. They're gone. You've got to go under the mat in the back. If you knew where which mat you have to pull up to find a rope to pull on it to open the door. Okay? So what did they do? They rewarded him. They give him $1 trillion pay raise. The guy needs to go. Someone needs to be in charge of that company that's going to do what's good for the company to succeed. They've got shareholders, okay? They've got owners, okay? You're working for the owner. It's representative of the owner. So the owners, if you just bought a $110,000 flagship, your car got canceled. How long are they going to support it? That is not the way that the man is unstable in his ability to run the car company. He gets something and he gets bored with it. Oh, well, I made the car company. It's successful. I'm competing with the top slot in the world, okay, with Toyota. I'm bored. I need something new. I'm going to make robots because the robots will be able to work for free, okay, once you buy them. And you don't have to pay a human being to do whatever the robot can do. And think about the elderly, how the robot can actually step in and help the elderly. So let's close down the production lines for the car that started all of this electric car revolt, or not revolt, revolution, better word. Let's just close down that whole factory and change it over. We're going to make robots now. I'm bored, okay? So the man is brilliant. He gets bored. It's not a challenge anymore. So I don't like that. I don't like that in a sense of integrity. I don't get the feeling that Ford is trying to sabotage itself or General Motors, although it looked like that in the 80s and the 90s when they were coming out with pure crap, pure crappy cars. Amazing. And where the Fleetwood, Cadillac, the standard of the world, that was their slogan. Okay? So I could make a case that Cadillac and, General Motors and Ford and Chrysler went by the way of the doo-doo bird. Okay? They were bought out by a Chinese company. So I guess maybe everything is on course. I'm just a little pissed because I'm excited. Okay? I didn't see the revolution going from telephones to cell phones. I saw the beginning of the revolution very, very young of the transfer from black and white television sets to color television sets. We used our TV it was in the kitchen at the time, was a black and white, and it had rabbit ears. And being the gadget boy that I am, I learned to put aluminum foil in different spots on the rabbit ears to increase and improve the reception. Reception was terrible on the television sets, and they were small. Okay, a 14-inch set today would be a monitor for our computers. So we have all that stuff going on. Okay, and I saw the changes that happened, and now I know I'm 72 years old, so I don't know how long I've got. I could go quickly, or the average lifespan of the male is 76. But you ever watch these new videos they have on YouTube where they take the cast of the show and some of them have wings? Okay, meaning they passed away, and then they go to the next one. It's all AI generated, but some of it is very endearing, is very beautiful. Okay, so we're looking at the camera companies, and they have kind of followed suit. Instead of steps forward, the camera companies keep shooting themselves in the foot. The consumer, any one of you guys that are on and the Friday night family, would be able to pick almost any camera and tell us what's wrong with it, all across the board. What's wrong? What was wrong with this guy right here, the Lumix, the Panasonic? For years, we were waiting for an improved focus system. They stuck with contrast detection. Everybody else was flying ahead with phase detection, and then they flew ahead double by what they were able to face dog, bird, planes, motorcycles, trains. I mean, the AI chips that they are putting in these things are just amazing. We knew how to fix it. All they had to do was call any one of us for the Friday night show. Hey, what do I need to do to fix my Panasonic camera? Well, the first thing you need to do is put in a focus system that matches Nikon's and matches Canon's, matches Sony's. Okay, we knew what to do. How about Canon? For the longest time, I even made a song about it. No 4K. They had no 4K in a very, very important segment of the market. Telephones, not telephones, but cell phones. Do I have my cell phone? Yeah. Cell phones were getting 4K before Canon was putting 4K. So all of us, we knew what to do to correct, each and every camera that we could go down the list. Now, maybe not everybody was as in tuned, but most of us were. We knew what needed to be done. We got overheating all over the place. That needed to be addressed. I kept talking about it. Everybody else was saying, I did this test, I did that test, I did this test. So we knew what to do. So I don't know what to say. It's like these people that are on YouTube that are acting like childish idiots. They're the future politicians of tomorrow. And it's just very sad to see what's coming up. So in the Tesla, just like I just went with the cameras and just picked a couple and told you what was wrong with them. So they closed down their flagship, the Model S and the Model Y. Now that was the spearhead, the entry that introduced people into loving the new electric cars or hating the new electric cars. And I don't care which way you wanted to think about it, we knew it was the Model S that started that whole ball rolling. They discontinued it. It's a beautiful sedan, a little noisy, but they were supposedly over the years making it better. Okay, now they canceled that. Then they took that car and they turned it into a, they called it an SUV, but it was SUV-ish. And they canceled that. So now we have the Model Y. Well, let's work with what we've got. You've got the Model Y. And they have taken the one car and they made a faster, super fast one called the Performance. They made a higher end, which was the normal one that everybody would buy. If you were to go in to buy a Model Y, that model is now called the Premium. Okay, so then they took that Premium and they took the front motor out and made it rear-wheel drive. So now you got 3 different iterations of that. Now they took that Premium, okay, and they made a low-end version. Now that was on my list of things to do if I was running Tesla. Take it all the stuff out, strip it down, keep the best parts, okay, but you don't need that glass roof up on the top, very expensive. You don't need a motorized up in the back that goes up and down by the push of a button. For years, okay, on my dad's Mazda MPV, which is like a minivan, you had to pull the thing down. They even had a strap that you would pull, and you'd pull it down, and boom, you'd shut it. Take the motor out of the back. Take out those leather seats or those fancy seats or the leatherette or the they have a special material. Put in cloth seats, like the low-end Chevys and Fords used to have. They were cloth seats, okay? They could have done a lot of stripping in that car without changing the basic mechanisms. They could have put in a smaller battery because the battery is where most of the money goes. Instead of a 300-mile range car, make a 220-mile range car. Person doesn't want it. He can pony up for the next level up. Okay, so you get an economy version. You get the regular version that you have now, and then you make what I call the Cadillac version, the Rolls-Royce version, okay, and make it like a car. A dashboard, imagine that. Door handles, imagine that. Buttons for the windows, imagine that. Buttons for your radio, imagine that. All on the same body. Make it ride like a cloud. Like a modern-day version of a Cadillac or a modern-day version of a Lincoln, or even better yet, like a modern-day version of a BMW or a Mercedes. They're the luxury rides of today, okay? So they could make an ultra-luxury one, and they could make the middle-of-the-road one that's very high-tech. There's a lot of people that really love technology. It's there. The car's there already. And make an economy one, and then expand that. Okay, where is the what do you call it? The open back version of it. Where is the convertible version of it? Okay, you've got a few things you could do. None of that. I mean, people have been asking for years for faster charging. We don't want to go and take an hour to charge. Why can't we just charge at a much quicker rate? Okay, they would have to do some engineering to get that done. So we know what to do with the camera world. We know what to do with the car world. Okay. They backed out of electric vehicles for most of the cars, but now they're coming back. Toyota just introduced a car. Randy was getting his car. I forgot what was happening. I think it's when he had the bug, or he was transferring between the bug and another car. And he was taking Uber and Lyft. And I said, you've been in a lot of cars, because he was going to work at that time. And I said, which car impresses you? Have you been in a Tesla? Because I've never even been in one at that time. So he says, yeah, it was nice. But you know what car impressed me the most? Was the Toyota. So Toyota just came out with the car that Randy likes, called the CHR. And they just came out in America, because a lot of these cars, they don't come to America. Okay. With the CHR, completely electric. And they already made a longer version called the BZR. Tesla has a longer version of the Model Y. It's not available in the USA, but Toyota's coming in with EV, electric cars. What EV stands for, electric vehicle. Okay. And they're giving you two sizes. And the one that Randy liked was the CHR, completely electric. And it looks like a car inside. You don't get this shock. A great percentage of our population would be shocked, okay, to get into an EV. And where is this? How do I get out? How do I push? What button do I push to get out of this car? It's just kind of crazy, okay? So we know how to fix everything. Now, let's take this A7C II that you're looking at right now. Sony should be working on an A7C Mark III. The two major flaws of this particular camera that we're looking at now, number one is the reliability of the heating. So they put a thing in there where you could choose to let it go to a higher temperature before it shuts down. But your camera is going to get hot. They need to fix that. It's already been fixed. We have an A7 Mark V. And for those of you that know a little bit of computer history, Apple took the graphics chip, and they took their processing chip, and whatever else happens inside there, they took it away from all the vendors like Intel. They were buying the Intel chip, okay? And they put it all into one chip, controlled everything, and the heat is down by 80%, if not more, starting with the M1, M2, M3, M4, the laptops, okay? Now, on the Windows side, you have a case. You can add more fans. You can add faster fans. You can add air cooling. You can add liquid cooling. Can't do any of that in the Apple world. But what Apple did is they took the bull by the horn. They combined all the power, put it into one chip, changed the highways that's inside of that, reduced the amount of power that it takes to power the computer by 80 or 90%. They reduced the heat by 80 or 90%. They brought all of the manufacturing in-house, and they solved their heating problem, their speeds problem, their supply problem. And Sony did that. Sony did that in the A7 Mark V. We have a basic processor, okay? That was stage one. Then they wanted to have more processing power. So they put two of the processors in the camera. Not this one, okay? But general lay of the land for Sony. They put two of the processors inside of the Sony cameras. Then they needed more processing power to identify a dog, a bird, a reptile. All that takes processing. So it would have to go through all the different algorithms to find out that's a bird. Now we know what we're trailing. They even can trail a plane up in the sky. Okay? And so they put 3 processors. So my camera, the FX2, has 3 processors. The one single one, then they doubled it, okay? Let's say like in the A7 Mark IV. And then they created an AI processor strictly to help them identify for focus and to learn as it was going around, okay, as it was being used. And all 3 of those are in here, and they stepped up and they solved the overheating process. They added a fan to this camera. See the vents back here? If I tilt it properly, they got your venting. So they more than 5 times the power, I think they said 10 times the power, processing power, all in the one camera, and it's vented. Now you take all that processing power and do what Apple did, reduce it down to one little chip, and it's called the XR Mark II. That's the name of the chip, in case you go looking for it. And they put it in the A7 Mark V. The heat was 95% cut out. I have yet to hear or see anybody say, I overheated. As a matter of fact, I should do a search on that. And do you have an A7 Mark V that overheats? Okay. The speed, immensely quicker. All of that because they put it all together into one processor. Now, when they take that processor, I don't think they're going to spend that much money on research and development to create such an earth-moving processor and just keep it in this one camera. So when the A7C Mark II, which is this camera right now, okay, when that one gets upgraded and becomes the A7C Mark III, okay, if they put the sensor from the A7 Mark V, which is a faster reading sensor, a step forward in the quality of the sensor, and if they put that sensor in that's in here into the A7C Mark II, then if they take the processor and use the processor that's in here, they'll solve the heating problem. And the camera is a point and shoot size camera, but it's full frame. If they do those 2 things, and if they manage to squeeze that you could make a full frame 60p, because it's a full frame camera, 24p, 25p, 30p, but when you get to 59, 60p and 50p, they crop it. So if they fix those things, they will have taken and made a wonderful camera. Now, I don't think they'll do all of that because it'll cannibalize other aspects of their line. But if they keep it a single card slot, which I do not like, okay, I want a card slot that's... wait, Randy's messaging me. Let me make sure my microphone's on. I hope this is important. Oh, he was at Walmart. Maybe he doesn't realize I'm live on the air. Okay. So anyway, now that I got distracted, let's get back. Okay. If they do those things and put them in the A7C Mark III, okay, they will have a winner chicken dinner. And then that'll need to trickle down to the E10 Mark II. It'll have to become the E10 Mark III. So if they do that, we will have wonderful cameras. Now, this is the A7 Mark V. It's a Sony camera. We're looking at a Lumix right now. This is the new 40 millimeter lens. Look at this lens. It's actually really very cool. Let's get it over here. This lens has this built-in lens hood. Okay, watch me turn the ring and take this off. And there's the lens. Look at it from the side. Isn't that interesting? Now you put this back on, and it's got like a swimming pool in there. Look at how deep it is. And yet when I turn it on and I look, it doesn't interfere with anything. See if I can get it so you can see. Well, there's nothing to see. It's just the desk. Okay. Now, there's quite a few of you that actually have this camera, including Jim Monday. And I know Randy's, I don't know if he's got one or more of these cameras. Okay. So let me show you a trick that might not be for everybody, but it'll make a big difference. It's one of the biggest differences that you can make with this camera, okay? All right, so if you look at the back, am I zoomed in? I think you could see that pretty clearly, right? Let me see if I'm zoomed in enough. I should be fully zoomed in at this point. I think I got a little bit more zoom I can do. Yeah, all right, so that's the full amount. Now the camera's on. If I pick it up, you can see the piece of tape I have. So that piece of tape shows me where to put things. So now if you have, and I learned this from this is the A7 Mark V. So before this camera was an A7 Mark IV. And before that camera was an A7 Mark III. And I had the A7 Mark III. Okay. Now you see this button in the upper left? What does that say? Can you see it? Learn to move in the right direction. It's the C3 button. If I push that button, it gives me the focus mode. See how the focus mode is there? So let me put the camera back down so that we are not shaking all over the place. All right, so that it invokes the focus mode. And if I push it again, we're back to seeing the regular LCD. All right. So I recommend to every single one of you, okay, that you change this C3 so that when you push it, this came programmed like this with the original Sony A7 Mark III. 2 cameras before this one. Okay, so that became important, right? So as soon as I will get one of the newer Sony cameras, okay, I'm going to go into the menu. All right, now this is going to be a little, you're going to have to go back and watch this. So make a notation as to where we are. We're 33 minutes into this show. So if it triggers in your mind like, hey, I would like to do that, just remember 33. Okay, 33. You will want to go into the 33-minute area. All right. So down the left side here, if we go up and down, we go through the different settings and stuff like that for the camera. Okay. Now the bottom one is the wrench. So if you go to the wrench, okay, and you go over one area, and you come down to where it says dial custom. So it's wrench 4. So far, we're on wrench and 4. Let's see if I can get a pencil so I don't keep messing things up with my finger. So we're at the wrench and number 4. Now, if we come over here, you actually have a custom key and dial set. You've got one for the pictures, which is the top one, where it looks like a camera, and the very next one down is the same thing, but the icon on the left looks like a movie camera. So we're going to do this setting twice. Okay, so we're going to go into the custom dial set. We're going to come in here, okay, and we're going to move it into the area where we are looking at the buttons. Okay. Okay, so the easiest thing to do is just go up and down until you find what you want. So what we want is this C3 button over here. And that is right here. It's on the menu number 4. And it's set to focus mode. Because I pushed it before, remember? It brought up the focus mode. So I want to change that. So I'm going to push the center, okay, the return key or the enter key. All right. And I'm going to come into this area. And I want to come down. Let's see if I remember where this is. This is the focus. Okay, so I don't know if you could see it, but there's a dot in where it says focus mode. All right. All right, so what you want to do is you want to find where the APS-C is located. Okay, and you're going to come in here, and that's the camera. The icon, it works from left and works over to the right. So the camera, image quality, and then if I go to the right, it goes here. So the flow is left to right. All right. So I want to actually come, and this is what I'm looking for. APS-C 35 or the S35 and full frame toggle. So I'm going to use the joystick over here where my thumb is. Okay. I'm going to move over to the right, and I'm going to come down here, and I want to press in there so that is highlighted. So now this button right here, every time I tap it, it's going to cycle it between the crop mode and full frame mode. I push it again, back to the crop mode. I push it again, back to the frame. And then when I have it set up exactly the way I want, you do have to register it, and the easiest way is to tap right here where it says menu. Okay. And now if I go in here, okay, it will show me that that is what is set up. And there it is, number 4 right there. That button right there is set up to full frame. Now I'm going to repeat, kind of fast for you, right? I'm going to repeat the same thing in the movie mode. Okay. Going to go to custom, dial set, going to go over 1, going to go over again. I'm going to run through here until this button lights up. So right now this button is lit up. So I'm going to keep going down, down, and now it lit up. Happens to be number 4. Okay. I'm going to push in here, and then do you remember where we went? We went back all the way over here, and we came up to the movie, okay, the movie camera, and we want to come down. Let's see. If you get lost, just keep looking. It's in there, okay? So we got the image quality, the media, the shooting mode. See, I'm just going down them right now, okay? I'm going down. Now, where it is in that one there, okay? But I'm just showing you what to do if you get lost, or you watch this and you write it down, okay? Okay, so this is good because I really am lost now. So I'm going to go all the way back over here. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to come up to the top. I'm going to go over here. Let's double check this. Let's see what I'm doing. Let's change the camera on the dial over here. Let's change that to the movie mode. And try again. Rookie mistake, rookie mistake. Now I'm going to go into the menu. Okay. Custom key set. Going to go move over to the right. Okay. I'm in the toolbox on the left. Remember, we work from left to right. So I'm going to move down to the toolbox, custom key set, going to move over to the right, going to go over to the right again, and then I'm going to go down, and we already know that it's number 4. Okay. Now we're going to press in here, All right. And now we need to find, go up, 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 up. Okay, now we'll come in over here. Now we're going to go down until we find, so it's in the camera, number 1, okay, and you go to the APS-C. Now that's not highlighted because the movie mode is still in the old way of setting for the focus area. And then I push that, and then I push on the menu with my finger, and now they're both set up. So what this does, okay, if I come in, okay, now let's put something to focus on here. Okay, see the cap? Okay, there's the cap. Now, if I push the C3 here, watch. Now I'm in crop mode. Push it again, I'm in full frame mode. I push it again, I'm in crop mode. I push it again, I'm in full frame mode. So every lens that I put on this camera will give me 2 focal lengths. So it's got a 40 millimeter on here. So 40 and half of 40 is 20, so it'll be 60. Okay, so it'll either be 40 millimeters or 60 millimeters. 40 millimeters or 60 millimeters. And then if I change the setting here from movie to still images, and I'm going to take a picture, okay, the same thing. Cropped, uncropped, cropped, uncropped, cropped. So what this is allowing me to do is immediately, without question, switch back and forth between full frame and crop sensor. And that'll, any lens that you put on there, even if it's a crop sensor lens, will automatically let you, by just, I'm looking, I'm going to take I want it closer. You push your C3, it brings it into crop mode, and you've got a closer image. So every lens will have 2 effective focal lengths for you to use if you set your C3 button the way I just said. Now, many of you guys are going to have to go and rewatch this to figure out how to get it done. Okay, so the way I used to do it, it would be just going up and down real quick through the menus. All right, and until I find it. But now this is set up the same way that the old camera of the A7 Mark III used to be set up. Okay, and because I used to use that very heavily. You're walking around, you got your dog, like Randy's got Lucky, and he's over there, and he's just posing beautifully. Okay, and you don't have a zoom lens on. So what are you going to do? You push your C3 button, and suddenly you've gone over your crop mode. And you could do this on your A7, the one that we're looking at now, the A7C Mark II. Okay. Now, if it does not have the C3 button like the FX2 doesn't, okay, I assigned another button that I know, which is the number 5. Okay. It doesn't have any buttons over on this side if you look at it. Okay. So if you look at it, the viewfinder is there. There is no C3 on this camera like there is a C3 on this camera. Okay. But you can assign the button that you want, just you're going to have to take your time and get used to it. So that's the biggest tip. And now that I've done it with you on the air, maybe we'll go through it again Friday, so that you know, because I think it's important that if you buy this camera, as soon as you get it in the door, you need to set that button on the top left, because you're not going to be changing your focus modes that quickly. And if you are, okay, let's say you are. Let's say you go, no, Peter, I damn need my focus mode. Okay, chill. I'll show you. Okay, we'll come back over here. We'll turn the camera on. Okay. So if I go to and I push the menu button, and I go all the way to the left. Remember, we work left to right. Let's get this back up here. Left to right. If I go up underneath the star, okay, right here, right there is your focus mode button. Okay, it's right there. If I come down here, whoops, and I push it, it's the same menu as what the C3 used to do. And it's right up front. How did I get there? I hit the menu button. Okay. I went to the second icon down on the left, and I want to aim for the autofocus automatic. I want to go over there, and then I want to press the enter button. And then I get all those same choices that I had when I just did the same exact thing on the C3. So now the C3 is actually giving me the ability to crop back and forth between full frame and Super 35, or which is a crop sensor, and full frame. So you really take the working of this camera to a new level. And that is one of the more critical things. Now, as you get to be more and more professional, you're going to find things that you just can't live without. So where is our white balance? We might want to assign a button to a white balance or something to that effect, or ISO. But let's see. Yep, this camera holds true to form. Most Sonys, on the big wheel where the enter button is, to the right side is your ISO. Not all, but most of them are like that. So, I did notice that no one is taking advantage of showing off their pictures. You can send me your picture. My email is in the description down below. And I get to choose what I'm going to show. This is not going to be a boring picture. Let me see your grandkids. But if you send me a picture and I like it, okay, I have to prepare it, so it might take a week or two before it gets onto the live show. But I will display it and show it here. So I have shown Woody's pictures. Okay, I think I still have it in here. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay. So, yeah, Woody's pictures are still here. So this is a picture that Woody took. It's a red robin in the snow. And on the left, I will put in the name of the person that took it, which is Woody. Any title that you give it, you're going to have to give me this information, okay? I'm not going to beam over. Scotty can't beam me over to your house. So you're going to have to give me the information. What's the camera? What's the lens? What's your shutter speed? What's your f-stop? What's your ISO? Okay? And just list it out for me. Everything on a separate line, a simple list. Don't make it hard for me. Just give me the data that I need, and then we'll all look at your picture, and if I find it interesting enough, okay, and Woody sent me another one that he took, and see, I had a while to be able to come here and make a little layout so that I could show the pictures. So we might have 2 or 3 pictures that we talk about during that show, and then at the end of that, guess what? We go right back to our normal show that we're all used to, which is where I get to see your face and you get to see mine. Which, by the way, I hoped I wasn't going to have to do this, but I'm about $160, $170 short. The software that I use to do these shows is called EcammLive, and on the 21st of February, they're going to charge my credit card, which is not a credit card, it's a debit card. So the money needs to be in the bank. It's not a credit card where you can pay it next month. So I thought I was going to be able to reach it. I'm about $160, $165, $170 short. So in the description, there's a link to my Zelle. Okay, if you want to make a donation towards the paying for of Ecamm for the next year, we use this for the whole year. It's not just a monthly thing. Okay, it's for the whole year. I do need your help, and now is when I need it. Okay, so that is what I'm saying. Now, the reason I'm not freaking out is I have a couple of lenses I'm going to put up in the marketplace, and if they sell between now and the 21st, and today is the 18th, okay, I should be able to cover it. But if I don't sell it, which can go for weeks before I sell something on the marketplace, it's going to bounce. So if you want to help support the purchase of Ecamm for the next year, I'm asking for your help. It's as simple as I can make it, okay? Those that want to, use the Zelle link. It links you right to the bank account, and you just deposit the money, and I will say thank you, okay? So that is my request for your help on that. Now, let's take a look and see who is in here tonight and say hi to them. This lens came in today, which is the 40mm f2.5 Sony G lens. It's a full frame lens, number one. Okay. Number two, it is Sony branded, so we're not outside of the Sony. Here, if I'm going to show it off, let's show it off. Okay. Let's do it. Okay. So this is the lens. Okay. Right there. It's a 40mm. And you can see right there, it's f2.5, 40mm, and it's the G lens. Now, this lens is quite unique, and the reason that I say that is I didn't know what this thing was. What the heck is this? It's got two red lines here. There's a hole in here. I can put my finger all the way down in there, see? And not touch the lens, not touch the glass. I'm smart enough not to touch the glass. So don't be shooting me down, okay? But if you take it off, if you turn it, it comes off, and the lens is very bare. So let's turn this on. Let's see, does it have... Oh, it's got where you can control the f-stops also. And you move it all the way over here, and it'll lock in to automatic. I just learned something. Okay. Very smart, Peter. All right. It also has, if I stay in the picture, it also has the manual focus right there. You go back and forth for manual. And the reason that's nice is many times you can't get your focus. You get all flustered, and it's like, dang, I can't get the focus. Well, you don't have to go running through to find out where the heck your manual focus is. Just switch it over to manual focus, right like that. See that right there? One and done, okay? And then remember to put it back to autofocus. So let's see. That is very nice, okay? Now, when you turn this, it clicks like F8. And if you go to F11, let's get it up in the thing here. Click, click, click. Now we're at F11. Now it has another switch over here where I unlock the click. So we're at F11, right? Now it just slides. No clicks, no noise. It just slides. So this is quite a nice lens. And it just came in with UPS. I'm going to turn the click back on. That's a pretty heavy. Oh, it goes back and forth pretty easy. It doesn't move very much. Okay. So the click is on, the click is off. I thought it was going to be a big clunk, but it's not. Okay. So you've got click control. Now it clicks from F11. Each stop goes up and down, and it'll go all the way to the A mode there. And the final thing that I didn't mention, if you need another button like the C3, you got a C1 over here. Well, there's one like that on the lens. So when you put this lens on the camera, you actually can assign something to that lens. Let's say, I can't think of something right off the bat. There's your focus ring. But anything that you would want to put there, if I come up with an idea while I'm talking to you in a few minutes, I'll spit it out. But many times you can, if it didn't have the autofocus, you could assign that to there. But we do have the autofocus, okay? Okay, so that is this lens. So it's close to a 50 millimeter, which is one of my favorite lenses, but a little bit wider. All right. So if I use this C3 button here, this lens will operate as a 40 millimeter. And when I push the C3, boom, crop mode, it crops it in to the 1.5 crop. It becomes a 60 millimeter. Well, I don't like that. I want to go back to the full. Oh, okay. Keep your pantyhose on. Push the C3 button again. Isn't that fantastic? And I already checked this out. Okay. This is kind of like a deep well. See how thick it is? It's kind of like a lens hood, honestly. And it clicks into place. And you have a lens hood. It's in a well, so if you've got light coming in from this angle or this angle or this angle, it's like a mini lens hood. Very, very clever. I have to say, it's quite an impressive lens. So let's go back to where we have a human in the building. There I be! A7C Mark II. When you become an A7C Mark III, I want the new processor in there. Yes, I do, with the heat reduction and everything. And what else do I want? New processor. I don't think they're going to give you another card slot. It does already have dynamic, the range. Oh, I would like to see, I know this is stretching it a little bit, but it's for the purpose of my own wallet. I would like to see a full-size HDMI. If they put the new processor from the A7 Mark V, the new sensor from the A7 Mark V, which they did that before, the A7C Mark II is got the processor from the A7 Mark IV, and even one step further because it has the AI processor in that camera that we're looking at. Okay. And it has the same sensor as the A7 Mark IV. So if they go true to form, they can take the sensor from here and put it into the A7 Mark III when they up it. Okay. And the new processor, the new sensor, and my strong wish is they put a full-size HDMI. Now, they got to make it so that you'll still buy their higher-priced cameras, so you're probably not going to get the two card slots. You're not going to get that. And they probably are not going to give you the full-size HDMI. You want a full-size HDMI? Cough it up. Buy this camera, okay? But I'd like to see them do it in the A7C Mark II because that camera is probably the best walk-around camera. And if you need more pixels, you get the A7C Mark II. You don't get that one. You go straight to the A7CR, which is what, 40 plus megapixels? So it's really a powerhouse. you can carry that around with you, and it'd be the same as if you were carrying a very high-end full frame and camera, and you combine that with your talents. Okay, those of you that have that sharp eye, and you can see things like buildings for architectural photography, or landscapes, or sunsets, or nature. Okay, and then with the ability to, that camera has it, I already said it, that camera will let me go back and forth between full frame and crop sensor for pictures across the board. And then for movies, it'll do the same thing, but not in 60p. It only will stay in crop sensor. That is one of the things they pull down the ceiling on to make the camera, you know, a lower price. Lower price, $2,200. Okay, but these are now $3,000. You know, and they'll come down. Like this one is what? How much is this? $2,100, and you can get a used one for 18, or I don't know if it's that low. Might be 2,000. Okay, even the A7C, which we're looking at the ZR now. This is the Nikon ZR. So those of you that are watching and you haven't been around here for a while, you can actually see what camera we're looking at by looking in the upper right-hand corner of most of my screens. I might have missed one or two, but you could look in the upper right-hand corner, and you could see exactly what camera I have and what lens that I'm using. So I think the trick that I showed you, you might have to go back and watch the rewind to see how to do it. And if you can't figure that part out, I probably will repeat again on Friday night how to set that up both in your movie mode and in your photo mode. So this camera has a complete movie mode, A7 Mark V. It has a complete movie mode, and it has a complete photo mode, and it's 33 megapixels. So it's basically, until the Canon R6 Mark III comes out, it's basically giving you more megapixels than any other camera until you move up to the next price category, $4,000 and up, where you get into 40 and somebody's at 60. Okay, so Sony has some very, very sweet cameras. Now, surprisingly, Canon is moving into the, hey, we could do things right also mode. Okay, they have added one of the key features that I talk about strongly, and then I don't talk about it for a while. Okay, and that is gyro data. So what is gyro data? Well, you get image stabilization in the camera, sometimes in the lens, sometimes they work together, sometimes they don't work at all. But Sony does fairly well with image stabilization, but the dynamic image stabilization, which is on the newest Sony cameras, there's only a handful of them that has the dynamic, and this one has it. The A7 Mark V has dynamic image stabilization. That is like 70% to 80% of the way to having a gimbal. You don't need more equipment with a stick on the bottom with motors to balance it and do everything. You can do that, okay? I never liked it because I'm more of a social person. I'll go to a friend's house, my brother's house, to your house if you invite me, okay? And at that time, I don't want to bring a gimbal and stuff. So the dynamic active in this particular camera works very, very well, all right? And it's also in this camera, which is the FX2. And guess what? It's also in, it's already there, A7C Mark II has the dynamic active. But if you turn off your stabilization completely, and you say, Peter, why in the world would you do that? If you want to apply yourself with a little extra time, you can get free software called GyroFlow. And what GyroFlow does is it reads the data that the Sony, most of the new Sony cameras, and the new Canon R6 Mark III will record, okay? And what the gyro data does is it records every inflection that you do, every wiggle, every jiggle, every bump, every step. You ever see those people that walk and your image looks like it's walking, okay? It records all of that. You run your clip through the gyro flow software. The gyro flow software is free, so it's not like I'm trying to sell you something, okay? Seriously? What it will do is it will use that gyro data, which is what, okay, the gimbals do. They're working on gyros. That's how they're stabilizing your camera, with gyros in the gimbals, all right? So now we're doing it in reverse. It's being recorded in the camera on the track, okay? And then GyroFlow will take that and it will reverse engineer your wiggles, jiggles, bumps, your strides, okay, your gait as you're walking, and remove almost all of it to the point where we're just about at gimbal quality. All right? It's one extra step. And the extra step means you take your clips, you put it in GyroFlow. It does have a queue. You don't do it one at a time like the software that Sony gives you to do it. You do it one, and then you got to do the next one. You have to sit there and babysit the whole thing. You put all the clips into GyroFlow, okay? You tell it, I want it to come out in 10-bit, so it will also do 10-bit. It will do ProRes all the way to ProRes 444. It'll do H.265. It'll do H.264. I personally use ProRes Proxy because it's one step better than H.265. The file is just a little bit bigger, but the quality is a lot better, okay? So there you have it. A complete tour of what could be and what is. Now, let's say hi to some of you guys that are in here, all right? This is where the strength of our show is. Strength of our show is in our people, our family. I call it our family. And the reason that I say that is like I need a little money now to pay for this software, which is on the 21st. I told you if somebody wants to help pay for that, I'm about $170 short. I'm not freaking out because tomorrow I'm going to be putting up a couple of lenses on the Facebook Marketplace. And if they sell quickly, I'll have the money to cover Ecamm, okay? But if they don't sell, it's gonna bounce. There's not enough money in my bank. I don't have credit cards, okay? That's a long story. You guys that don't know the story, you can ask each other, why doesn't he have a damn credit card, okay? Well, there's a story behind that. So now is the time when I need the help. In the description is the link to my Zelle. Any amount that you want to go towards getting Ecamm, and Ecamm is good for the year. Okay, like I said before, it's not a monthly subscription, but it is a yearly subscription. And I don't like subscriptions, okay? But I haven't found another program that I like and that works with me easily, because when you're live, you can get flustered. I get here, and I'm usually calm and happy, and until somebody like Randy will send me a text, and I will get flustered. What's going on? What's going on? Well, that doesn't happen anymore because I'm used to it. I could easily turn the phone off, okay? But there's people like Sammy and Randy and can text me and say, hey, forgot to turn your damn microphone on, Peter. Turn the mic on, okay? So I keep it on, and if you haven't live streamed before when you first start, it's freaky. It's like, oh, everybody is watching me, when the real truth is only 10 people are watching you. It's less than the number of people you'd have in your house if a family came over with their kids, okay? But you'll still get flustered. It just happens. What can I tell you? So those that want to help on that, please do it now, because on the 21st of February, shebang, okay, they are going to put a draw on my debit card, which is obviously tied directly to my bank account. So Hal is in here. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, Hal. How are you? Say hi to Debbie. I'm not going to sing. Well, I could. Why not? The shadow of your smile, Debbie, when you are gone, it haunts me. Debbie is Hal's wife, and she's always so sweet. Debbie, we all love you. Hal, you should marry the girl. She's so sweet and so kind. Debbie, you belong to all of us. I like to sing to the girls, you know, flirting and all that kind of stuff. Hey, I'm only 72. I'm not dead yet, okay? So, but I'm respectful and I'm grateful for the people that are here. And look who came in second tonight. Wow, Mark, how did you do that? Dang, dude. So Mark says, do you anticipate the revolution from film photography? Oh, did I? I thought you were saying, do I? I'm going like, wait, am I in a time warp? What year is this? Quick, what year are we in? Yes, I did, okay? Because I was there, basically caught with my pants down, as they say, when Canon came out with the D30. And the reason that I had a very, very easy adaptation of it is I was watching the Nikons with what they had with their D. What was the D that they had at that time? And then they moved into the D70 and those cameras. And I just liked the digital point and shoots. And I'm going like, as professionals, we don't have anything like that. What is wrong? Okay, I could shoot pictures of my dog and the kids and all that all day long, but I can't shoot a wedding. Why not? And then Canon came out with the D30. They upped it to the D60, and the rest is history. Now, what did surprise me, Mark, was the blowback or the negative response from a lot of my fellow photographers, great friends, okay, that were so anti-digital. It looks so pixelated. It looks fake and blah, 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 okay? And we didn't have the skills right at the beginning to fix that, but I don't think it took months to figure out how to fix it, okay? Did you ever wonder why they have Gaussian blur listed on practically every program that you have for processing pictures or videos? That's how you make it look less digital. You don't blur it out crazy completely. Maybe 2 clicks or 3 clicks into Gaussian blur, and suddenly you're looking very film-like. Okay? And that is one of the big secrets. So now I have a camera here. Where is it? Oh, it's right here, right in front of. I usually don't have what I need. Here it is. It's the Olympus. It's too sharp. It's digital. This goes back. Let's see. We're in 2026. 6, 7, 8, 9. Between 8 and 10 years old. Too sharp. How do you fix it? Well, you go into the sharpening, turn it down. Turn it down some more. Turn it down some more. And the damn thing is still too sharp. So how do you fix it? Gaussian blur. That's why that word is there in all of your software. And you're going like, who stuck that in there? That's what you did to smooth your picture out. But it's like salt. A little bit is great. But too much, it's like, oh my God, this food is so salty. I can't eat it. It's terrible. Okay. So that's what we had. So Roy is in here saying good day. Hi to you, Roy. Down in, I think you're in Melbourne. And Alex is in Brisbane. So, Mark is remembering no 4K for you and no 4K for me. Okay, I think I'm taking too much credit, okay? I think I shamed them into putting 4K in the camera. So, and because of that, I think from that time forward, they didn't like me at all. So Randy woke up. Oh my God, you took a nap. Well, he'll fall asleep. Lucky is his dog, and he will tire Randy out. If you go over to Randall Brander, his channel, many times he's out in the backyard. Just watch the energy of that. I think he said he was, what, 9, 10 months old? German Shepherd? He's like worse than the Energizer Buddy. And it just makes Randy fall asleep. Randy is sleeping on the job. That's what he's doing. Randy's all right. Randy's all right. I love all of you. Love you, Mark. Love you, Randy. Love you, Roy. Love you, Hal, all the way up at the top. Randy is sleeping on the job. Roy says, I don't like the electronically locked doors. Yeah, I'm hoping, well, China made it so you have to have a mechanical one. You want an electronic one? No problem. You have to have an obvious mechanical door latch. That's the new law in China. Who would think China would lead? Okay? Dang. So you have to be able to put your hand over there, find it, pull it, and the door opens. And I hope that law includes the back doors. Okay? Because there's somebody just 2-3 months ago that died right here in Miami. I was watching Channel 10 News. They focused on the fact that it was a Tesla and it caught on fire because the news media is very anti-Tesla. But the real story was the man couldn't get out. And he burned to death and he didn't have to. Okay? So I looked on Amazon. They make these little hammers. I'm going to buy one. I promise. If when I get my Tesla, I'm going to buy one. And I'm going to put it right there right on the door. And you just hit the glass, and it hits it in a way where pew, the glass just breaks, okay? But if you have, I don't mean to ask you how old you are, but how old are you? Can't I ask anybody in this room, where's the door latch? Yeah, put your hand down, find the little, you pull it, and the door unlatches. That should be the law. And the reason for that is not that I'm against moving forward with the button that they got. They got a button. Okay, and when you push the button, it goes and opens the door. All right. The problem is muscle memory. We have been trained since childhood, honestly, how to move the mirrors, how to open the windows, how to unlock the doors. I've made jokes of this a couple of times. If I'm driving down the street and it's pouring rain and I see Randy over there and I pull over to the side in my Tesla, I won't know how to open the damn passenger door, okay, because it's got these buttons in places I don't know. There should be I think they say there's a release on the screen. So he's getting rained out, and I'm trying to find how to open the door. Well, all I have to do is hit the unlock button. All the doors will unlock, and he can open the door himself, and he can come in out of the rain. You know, it's this simplistic stuff that people as smart as they could be, like Elon Musk, pew, boom. Okay, how does Luis on Mr. Camera Junkie do it? Like, pew, something like that. It's like so darn obvious. So Randy is talking to Mark. Feel young again. Stay up all night and going to bed in the morning. I actually did that last night. I didn't go to sleep till 6:30, 7 o'clock this morning. But I did take one hell of a nap. Okay. Getting back up at 12 noon. Dinner at 4 p.m. That's breakfast. And then fall asleep and woke up again at 8:30. Now you're cooking with gas. You know, everything else got modernized, Randy, but retirement hasn't. We still try to fit the old work schedule. Gotta be in by 10 and out by 9 and blah, 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 when we could do exactly what you just said. You want to stay up and watch these wonderful movies all night long? Be my guest, okay? I don't know. I feel guilty. I feel like God is mad at me if I'm not up at 9 a.m. on the job and I don't have a job. So we have to modernize retirement since everything else is getting modernized. Cheers, Roy. Yes, that's what I think Sony did. Low power, high performance. And don't forget to add low heat. Most cameras use ARM chips. Not ignoring you, Rory. I'm having my iced coffee. I think of you every time I have it. Here's my Sammy boy. How you doing, big boy? Sammy will be having news that we'll share here about a movie that he's involved with. He filmed it with his FX30. And we might even have a conversation with Sam about that. He's very proud of it. And I think he's doing not only the filming, but I think he's also doing the editing. I'll find out more this week. So Mookie is here. Hi, Mookie. How you doing? I'm at the newspaper office, and he's listening in. So you're working right now. That's cool. Love you, Mook. Love you, Sammy, but you already know that. You have a new toy. Toys come and go. Randy says, my favorite type of car is when getting it as a gift or as an heirloom. Getting from and to helps speed up the travel time. It beats walking. Yeah. You know, how many people have told me, Peter, at your age, sell your car and just Uber. You know, there's something that's got a click in your mind on the sense of security that you have, okay, when you have your own car at your disposal. Now, I suppose living in New York, where you can get just about anywhere by rail, they call them elevators, subways, okay, is an exception. But in Miami, where it's very sprawled out, Texas, sprawled out, you know who's really good at not having a car and goes to New York and back from New York and Long Island and back from is Sammy. That boy has it down pat. And you know what? Because he doesn't have the expense of air filters, oil filters, gasoline, tires, insurance, monthly payment, windshield wiper fluid. All right, that's not expensive. Winter tires, summer tires. The train handles all of that. And I'm so proud of him. He goes all over the place. It's amazing. So Roy says, I love buttons. Oh, a man after my own heart. And here is Sly from Okie, Oklahoma. Hi, Peter and family. You have surpassed 500 subs. Yay. Yeah, we just crossed this week. Randy had to tell me. I didn't even know. I was fighting to get over 500 subs. And I think I saw it earlier today. We were at 502 or something like that. So when I start putting more videos on this channel, regular videos, not the live ones, because the channel just sits dormant all week long. So I got a new lens. I can do a little short video on the lens. Okay. I got this thing where you push the C3 button and you can go full frame, crop frame, full frame, crop frame, full frame, crop frame. You should hit the tilt button. Okay. That deserves a video all by itself. And then all my ramblings on Tesla, that should be a video. Okay. I went from loving Elon Musk to thinking he's a very unstable person only by his performance. Okay, I don't know him. Might be a heck of a nice guy. But he's taking the car company that I like and he's running it. So he's actually fighting me. What do you expect me to do? Roll over and play dead? I'm hoping another car company rises up out of the ashes or the dirt and presents a real competitor to Tesla. My guess is it's going to be when all this infighting stops with the Chinese and you're going to be able to get the the Chinese versions of the electric vehicles here, because they supposedly have the full self-driving, supervised or unsupervised, I don't care. I'm not going to fall asleep in the car while the car is taking me places. I don't sleep in a plane when I used to fly, okay? I'm not going to sleep in the car and have sex in the car, okay? Because who knows what the hell the car is going to do. So they say that the Chinese have one or two companies that are equal to or better than the full self-driving from Tesla. Bring it here. Get out of the line, okay? I root for Tesla. It's an American car company. This guy, Elon Musk, took it from nothing, okay, or basically close to nothing, and brought it into being the #1 selling car, okay? I don't know if it outsells the Ford F-150 because that is technically the #1 selling vehicle all the time. Everybody buys a Ford F-150? I didn't even know that. I would buy what Sly has. She's got a Toyota. They're known to be well made. Yes or no? Okay. So that's what we got. Randy says we're at 501. 501. We've crossed the 500 mark. Sly and Randy taking it over the Does 500 plus mean Peter gets his dollars back? No, it doesn't. This channel has never been monetized. The other channel, the big channel, is monetized. People can put in super chats. They can. What else can they do? Whatever you can do with monetization. Any of the ads. You see the ads? I don't get to participate in that until I get to I think 1,000 subscribers. But at 500, it allows me to do something. I don't remember what, but it does allow me to do something. But meanwhile, on the 21st, I have to have the money sitting in the bank for the twins. The twins are coming to collect. We offer you protection. We offer you insurance, and we'll be around to collect. Oh, they're awesome guys. They're pretty cool. They actually listen to me, which is unusual because most people don't listen to me. Randy says, I don't know. It takes YouTube a while to make the change. That's why a lot of live streams have buy me a cup of coffee. Well, I had that. I might still have it, but I just put the Zelle down there. You want to buy me a cup of coffee? Put it in the Zelle. Or I have the my email for Amazon. You want to buy me the protein drink? Send me an Amazon gift card. $5, $10, $3. Okay? But for right now, it all has to be concentrated on Zelle because the cash has to be in the bank for when the twins come to visit and make me an offer I can't refuse. You know what I mean? They're doing better and better on their menu, Roy. You are 100% correct. Okay? All it is, it's the same lens, same aperture, same depth of field. Everything is the same. The only thing that changes is the crop. Okay? So if I slip up every once in a while, Roy, I'm not as old as you, okay? I know you're old over there, and sometimes you have a hard time. Well, I'm catching up to your age, so I might say, the focal length. But the 40 millimeter lens becomes a 60 millimeter lens. But it doesn't really. It becomes a crop that's representing 60 millimeters on your field of view. It's interesting how he corrects me on something I beat the drums over all the time. So Randy's talking to Roy. Oh, wait, he's talking about driving home. So he was driving home from here, and needed gas. He stopped in a city that everyone was driving electric cars. I think the city was called Pebble Beach. There's a Pebble Beach between me and you? From Miami to there? I thought Pebble Beach was in California. My new vehicle has a top speed of 10 miles per hour. Power chair by name only. I thought you had a golf cart. So it's a power chair. If God isn't willing and the bridge isn't up, Peter will see you next time. Remember, his goal is the sky, not the grave. Stay safe and keep smiling. Well, if you want me to go, I will. But I'm enjoying myself. And I'm relaxed. Okay, I can keep going unless you want me to go. I mean, tell me to go, guys, and I'll go. If I get tired, I'll say, oh, we got to go. And we're out of here. I wish all buttons were illuminated like my D850. Lewis, how you doing? I haven't heard from you. Lewis, how you doing? I haven't heard from you in a while. Peter and friends, I just got back from my Ash Wednesday Mass. I forgot that was this week. Happy Ash Wednesday to all of you guys that went to church. It is Wednesday night. And Ash Wednesday is when they anoint you. They mark your head with the sign of the cross. Okay? That's what the Catholic Church does. In the Greek Church, they don't put the ash, okay, the blackened. They put the anointed oil of the Holy Spirit on your forehead, on your cheeks, on your chin. And then the priest has you put your arm out, and then he does that, makes you turn over, makes the sign of the cross. So you get anointed. You get oiled down. That's what happens. You really get oiled down. So we are entering into the season celebration of Easter, which we don't forget. We are celebrating the resurrection of Christ as the ultimate turning point. But we go through the passion, the him giving of his life and his body for us. So Lewis says, I don't have Zelle. How can I help you? Let me think about it. I know you've given to me before. How did you do it? I have CashApp. Sly had me get CashApp once. I just don't remember what the word is. Do you have CashApp? That's another possibility. Lewis says, Roy, I want a D850. Good for you, Lewis. I say no. You're not going to get a D850, no. You want to get the 33 megapixels of an A7C II or the E10 Mark II. Okay. Are you saving any money there? Here's Gigacolorscapes. How are you doing? You're into FX3 Mark II with hybrid frame, HDR, and screen AF? No? I'm sure you wanted more than a no. I have the FX2, which I think is a better camera than the FX3. Unless you're purposely making videos for the medium screen and the big screen. And in that case, I would still go with the FX2, but the FX3 takes it even a step further. But for the most of the general population, and for most of the YouTubers that think they're doing something by going FX3, I'm sorry, misspoke, you're missing the marks. The FX2 is a far superior camera. And then the A7 V is a superior camera, okay? Not that the FX3 is not a superior camera, physically. But it's got 12 megapixels. You're not working with 33. You're working with 12. You tell me I don't do any pictures. Okay, then you're sitting sweet with the FX3, which is absolutely fine. Here's the A7 Mark II. Okay, A7C Mark II. And it has 33 megapixels. And it's got a full suite of video tools. The FX2's got anamorphic. It's got shutter angle. It's got a full-size HDMI. It's got ProRes. Why would I buy an FX3? I like to take pictures. Okay? Well, yeah, the FX3 lets me take pictures, but at 12 megapixels, ain't a whole lot of cropping going on. Okay, so I'm trying to balance it out so I don't piss you off, and at the same time, nudge the people that are listening to me to understand the FX2 is the superior camera, and the A7 Mark V. Right now, those are the winner chicken dinner cameras for the majority of all of our people. Jim says, wow, I might learn something about my camera. I hope you set your C3 button. You know, once you start switching back and forth between full frame and just push the button and you're on crop mode, and then push the button, you're back to full frame. The only thing you cannot do is turn the camera on. All right? Is if you are in the video mode and I push record, okay, wait, let's take the cover off. While you're recording, you cannot go back and forth. Okay? So let's stop the video mode. I want to do a quick test. If I go to the camera mode, and I push record, no, it won't do it in the camera mode either. So I'd actually have to stop recording, change over to the crop, push the C3 with my, and it fits right where your thumb goes. Your thumb goes right exactly where the C3 is. Okay? And then I have to start recording. But I don't have to change the lens or anything like that. I don't know why I have the impression that the A7 Mark III allowed me to go back and forth while the recording was happening, but I guess I'm wrong. I'll have to do a Google search on that. But with the camera in hand, I was not able to make it go back and forth. But just the ability to go back and forth at will changes the field of view for every single lens you have, bar none. It basically, like you went out and bought all new lenses. And that's wonderful. It really is. Roy says he still loves the D850. Woody. Hi, Woody. I just showed a couple of your pictures. Were you here or were you gone? I don't know. He's saying hi to Jim. They're both in the same part of the country. So, is there a way to donate using PayPal? Yeah, I have PayPal. Actually, if you... I don't know why I took the PayPal off, but I did. So if you go back a couple of Fridays, maybe 4 Fridays, I think I have a PayPal link in there. So it can be used. Maybe I should add it on this one as soon as I get off. Oh, I know why I took it off. PayPal's link is 5 miles long, and there's no way to shorten it. Okay? Yeah, I know about those companies that shorten it, but then it doesn't go to the donate button. So I would say about 4 or 5 Fridays ago, I don't think I had Zelle because I had it in my mind like, oh, they could steal my money from my bank account. Well, number one, there's not a lot of money in there. And number two, they can't take it out with Zelle. They can only put money in. So it was like one of those senior insecurities where it's like, oh, I don't want them knowing how to get my bank account. But all people can do is put money in it. I asked the bank, am I exposing myself? Well, their answer was to scams. But I'm not going to answer any scams. Okay, so, and I know the names of you guys. So when I see your name, it's a pass. That person's cool. So if you go back let's say you go back a month, you'll have the link there, Roy, for PayPal. And then what I will do is when the money goes into PayPal, I'll move it over into my bank account because I'm using the debit card from the bank account for Ecamm to withdraw the money to pay for the next year. Okay, it's already in here. If I go to the account settings, okay, it shows me that my bank account is connected to it. So Jim is saying hi to Woody. I never like to stick up my bottom either. Woo! Boy, I could do a lot with that. Roy is saying he had two 850s. Well, the 850s were one, and still is, one of the best cameras. If I was not going to do any video at a wedding, I could shoot a wedding with a D850 and have the biggest smile on my face. So Woody is saying, Jim, did you see the photo of a very large bird flying over my backyard today? No, was it an interesting picture? I just got to repeat, if you guys want to put a picture that you will allow me to show off, okay, send me the picture, send me the data, one line each, not all long run-on sentence, okay, because the reason for that is Ecamm is not that easy for me to put new lines. But if I could just copy camera, lens, shutter, aperture, ISO, what else would you list? Camera model, okay. If you have a title to the picture and the name you want me to use. So let's say like Woody has his name Woody Mallory here, okay. But let's say he was sensitive and didn't want Woody Mallory, okay. So you list the name that you will allow me to use. I'm just as sensitive about security as you are, so I'm not looking to be a pain in the ass to anybody, all right? Put the cap back on this lens. Randy says, flippy, tilty screen also for the A7C III. Randy votes for them to add that screen. That screen should become the standard of the industry. It really is so impressive, honestly. So you see this Olympus? This is an Olympus camera. It's got a screen right here. Wrong. I think it's the older Olympus camera, the model before this one, okay, the M1, or the one they didn't have an M. It only tilted up and down, okay. Then the new ones tilt out, but if you want to go up and down, it happens over on the side, okay. So instead of looking down, you're looking here. So the new screens, and here's the example of it, is the A7 Mark V. It tilts up and down, like the old cameras. But lo and behold, it also tilts all the way around and goes up and down that way too. So I didn't think it was that cool until I had it in my hands. Just like I didn't think this viewfinder was that cool until I have it in my hands. Okay? So the bitching and moaning crowd on YouTube were going like, oh, this thing sticks out. It gets caught on my arm. Look at that. It gets caught in the camera case. But now that I've had it, dang. All day long, I would much prefer to have this. I can do this, and I can follow this like that. I could go like this and have it at a 45, or I could do like a regular camera and bring it up to my eye. There is just no comparison. So all that moaning and groaning and acting like a fifth grader, that the people that are complaining about this, God gave me 2 ears for a reason. In this one, so So Jim said, Woody, I didn't see that photo. I'm working way too hard lately. Randy says, we'll watch the rewind, Woody. We'll watch the rewind. No, I think Woody has a picture on his Facebook, is what I'm gathering, that he posted of a bird flying over his backyard. Am I correct on that, Woody? It's not a picture that you have already sent me. In other words, I don't have that picture. If it's good enough to be shown to everybody, send it to me. I can't tell you when it's going to come out because like you see, it takes a little time to make that presentation. Okay, maybe I'm not as good at it as Jeff is. Randy says the A7CR has 61 megapixels. The mini A7R5, no 8K video though. Yeah, that A7CR is another winner chicken dinner camera. You've got to be from down under, the Blooming Onion, or what other reason would you be called Blooming Onion? You're mentally incapacitated? Or you just happen to love the Blooming Onion at Outback's because it is fantastic. Although lately they have made it so spicy that it's taken it off of my super I enjoy this list. It used to be, dang, I can eat almost the whole thing by myself. So why do you have so many Christmas trees? Somebody tell the Blooming Onion why there's so many Christmas trees in this room. Why? They will be here in May. Why they will be here in August. Why they will be here in September, October, November. Tell the Blooming Onion why. Because all of you know. Oh, Roy already did it. I don't even have to ask. Peter is the Christmas room all year long. That's the truth. This is my set, the Christmas room, and it is been like this since before 2008. Okay? And the story goes, and you guys are going to moan like, oh, he's showing us his old pictures again. My dad walked out of the office. I was recording something in the big family room, which is the room next to this one. And he walked right through where I was recording. And he was, oh, I'm so sorry. And then he kept on walking. He realized that he interrupted a video that I was making. I was recording and talking, I think at that time, to a GH3. Okay. And he stopped suddenly and he said, you're aiming the camera the wrong way. The pretty picture is against that wall. And the wall that he pointed to was where the Christmas tree was, because it was Christmas time. We had put up our tree. I put up our tree. Let's just get it straight, okay? Because that tree has a history. And I'm not willing to give that history up so easily. And the history is me. I'm griping and moaning because nobody would help me put the tree up and nobody would help me take the tree down. And I finally got fed up and left it up all year round. When my brothers were willing to get together and help me take it down, we will take it down. They never came and it never came down. But then when I turned the camera around as per Dad's suggestion, it became known as the Christmas room. It's pretty. It's a witness to my Christianity without me having to say a word. The picture, what do they say? A picture is worth what? What is a picture worth? We know, 1,000 words. So it became known as the Christmas room, and I kept making it prettier and prettier and prettier. And then after Dad passed away, and the house became to his children, I eventually wound up in Dad's office, which is this room. And so I would say 50 to 60% of this is Christmas decorations, and the cameras are all against that wall. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras there. Okay, there's soft boxes built into the ceiling now. Where am I? Over here. And there's a soft box right over my head. See how my hair is white? No, I'm not an angel. This is not touched by an angel. There's a soft box over my head. And it's on my shoulders too. You can kind of see it gives me a little separation here. So peace on earth, goodwill towards men, Christmas. Jesus, the birth of Jesus, Christmas. So I just keep the Christmas room up all year long. And it is super pretty. also. And it also F's up the focus systems on many a new camera. Blinking lights, like focus on me, and no, focus on me, my face is here. And the camera can't decide whether to focus on me, the handsome, gorgeous face, or to focus on all those blinking lights that are 10, 12 feet behind me. And it drives the focus systems crazy. And in the earlier days when the focus systems were having a harder time, you could see them switching back. The Panasonic focus system would have a heyday in this room. And I would say, put in phase detection, especially with the eye detection and stuff. And they go, no, our system is better than anybody else's. DFD focus system, go, go, go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, we're a winner. Okay. Now, we just switched from it. They went to a world-class, top-of-the-line focus system, and it works very well. So, Blooming Onion, you going to ask me that every time you come in? I don't think that's the first time. Randy says, I mean the C3 button, the C3 button. Where are you applying that sentence? Because I don't see in the last 5, I don't see you referencing a button like that. But I'm all for it. I love the C3 button. Okay. Okay. So, Roy, some people resist change. You want to know what surprises me about myself? Peter told me that trick years ago. And I bet you that's what you do as soon as you grab a Sony camera, right? You probably do it on your FX30 because it's so incredibly useful. It's great to have 2 field of views from one lens. As a matter of fact, Leica has it, so it flips through. Randy, how many different field of views with the same sensor? They start out with something like 60 megapixels, and they'll run it all the way down to 17 megapixels. But each one is like a 50 millimeter, a 24 millimeter. I don't know how high it goes, 70 millimeter maybe. So we get 2 with that C3 button. It's wonderful. It really is. Wonderful. Yeah, Roy, some people do resist change. And Sammy already knows that trick. Film grain look better than digital noise, and it still does. Okay, so let's say you have an image and it's a little too digitally, if that's a real word. You could use Gaussian blur. Not a lot. It's worse than salt. Just a little bit. Okay. You can also introduce film grain. This is all done in your software. Okay. And believe it or not, the final thing is don't print it on matte or glossy paper. Print it on canvas paper. Print it on a textured paper. And it's a trick of the trade. When I was selling wedding wall prints for the house and stuff like that from weddings that I shot, let's say on the 20D. 20D was what? 6 megapixels, 8 megapixels, 10 megapixels? Okay, when you wanted to go 16 by 20, because they wanted that picture for their dining room, or bigger, 20 by 30. Well, you print it on canvas. You add a little film grain. And boy, it looks great. Sammy, it's too sharp, it's too sharp. Sammy, stop playing with knives. Too sharp is only a problem when it affects dynamic range. Where's my echo? Dynamic range. I don't like gull-wing doors, too. Flip the car and they don't open. Well, if that would be... Okay, I'm not running Tesla, okay? But I would get rid of those gull-wing doors. I mean, the car's been out long enough where those people that want those doors, there's enough cars out there where you can buy a used one with the... And they're not called gull-wing, they're called falcon wing doors. I've been corrected. I get corrected. Oh my God. And I would get rid of those doors, and I would have made that car to the level of a high-end BMW and Mercedes, because that's their flagship. The car sells for up to $115,000, $120,000, but it's not represented in the money, and that's why it wasn't selling. Only the people that definitely, absolutely, positively wanted that car, they would put up that kind of money for it. Okay. Otherwise, the Model Y, it's like a hand in a glove. They just need to make a really nice luxury version of that. Okay. A really economical version of that. And then what they got today. Because what they got today, I like it. I want one. So that is on my list of what I would like when I win the lotto, the heavenly lotto. All right. So yeah, I like the Tesla. I don't like what that Elon Musk had to get political and put me in the crosshairs of so many people. And there's some real nuts out there today. They don't have respect. Okay. Strange, but I miss the 72-hour work days. Okay, you need to go back in your cage, Roy. Most people can't do that. Wow, Uncle Peter started a whole hour early. Hey, James, how is the big boy? I'm so happy to see you. I love you, buddy. And on Wednesdays, I start at 9. And on Fridays, I start at 10. And that is, I'm trying to get the crowd that goes to sleep early and the crowd that goes to what's established over so many years. Okay? So the Friday is the main show. Wednesday is the gravy. I feel like getting on and blabbing. Yakety, yak, yak, yak. You can't shut me up. Okay? And I don't have to go on Wednesday if I don't feel well or I'm too tired. But so far, I enjoy it, James. I enjoy it. Thank you for coming here. I love you being here, so thank you. I told you, you got 500. Sammy got it. Sammy got it. Does the C4 button make it blow up? Kaboom! I talked to you on Wednesday. I talked to you on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I want to hear a new song from Peter. I'll tell you something I found. It's been there all along and I didn't realize it. If you go to the main channel, the one that's got 36,000 subscribers, a big camera channel, I call it the big channel, and you look under playlists, I have most of the songs I did on that channel in one playlist. And I found it the other day and I said, I remember singing that song. I remember writing that song. There's only one song that I won't listen to, okay, and it's a wonderful song, don't get me wrong, and it's the song Mary Did You Know, okay, and there's a history that turned into a tragedy with that song, and I can't listen to it. It's a mental thing that I cannot do. I'm sure I could if I tried, but no. The pain is way off. Remember when you go to the doctor and you have a pain, it goes on a scale of 1 to 10. How much? What's the pain level? And you'd say, well, it's a 7. It hurts a lot, doctor. Well, on a pain scale for that song, to listen to it by anybody, not even me, but especially that one in that playlist. Okay, the pain on a scale of 1 to 10 is 100. It's not an 11. It's not a 12. It's a 100, okay? And those of you that know the story, and those of you that don't, I don't really want to say it now. It's just going to put a bleh on the whole show. I like Tesla before it got musked. The man is very smart. You got to admit, the man is a genius. It's just he doesn't know how to run a car company. And they should have people there that run the car company. So Jamie said, I'd rather get a 911 than a Tesla. Well, Jamie, I think you're exposing yourself, Jamie. You're showing your age. If I was 25 years old, I would say it would be a a tough decision. Maybe the technology would win out because you got the name on one hand, you've got the speed, and you've got the what do you call it? The aura of a Porsche. It's a, when you're rich, you got a Porsche, okay, or one of the cars you would have. But then you got the new technology, and it goes zoom, zoom, zoom. So it's a hard one for a 25-year-old, but for anyone older, I think I'm into the Tesla now. I've already switched. And now that it's got the full self-driving, no. I just remembered Peter's other channel has PayPal. Is that where it is? I knew it was somewhere. I just didn't know where. I think I even had it here a month ago. But maybe Roy is right. Maybe the other channel's got PayPal in the description. So thanks, Roy, for helping. Because between now and the 21st is when I need the help. So if you're going to do it, now is the time. Roy says, I still got my Hasselblad and a handful of lenses. Oh, Roy and Jamie are talking to each other. They're good buddies. I hope you guys are good friends now. So they're talking to each other. Hi, Uncle Peter. Do you recommend the Leica S3? I've seen one at a good price. You want to know something, Jamie? Yes, because it's got some clout. Leica, the name. What's the old saying that they used to drill into my head? When you got the name, you got the game. Okay? But if Leica has a camera, Sony has the balance of it because they make their cameras together, if you didn't know that. Sony and Leica and are kind of close. And then Lumix and Leica and Sigma are even closer. Okay? I think they're in each other's underwear. And I mean that to say they're, one farts, the other one's got to be there to smell it. Okay? So if you are at the I don't know how old you are, Jamie, and I'm not making fun of you. I'm not. I respect you. Okay? If you need to flex, the Leica, buddy. Go for the Leica. If you don't need to flex, but you want the better camera, you can get a better camera. You know who to ask? Randy. Randy's got Leicas. Okay? Peter puts amazing songs in my head. Mary's the one, Mary's the one. That's an old song. I can't even find it anymore. So James is talking to Roy. And Roy is talking to James. Rewind is great at double speed. If it sounds similar, I don't move around, so unless I'm actually showing something, I don't think the speed matters all that much. King is calling Roy his hero. Yay! Gustavo, ¿cómo se llama? Yo tengo mucho hambre. Albóndigas, café con leche, pan y mantequilla. Gustavo, a picture is worth more than, and he wrote it right here for us, 1,000 words. Thank you, buddy. That's really mighty nice of you. Love you. Thank you for rising up and spitting it out. Sammy says, I love that story. I'll have to put it on Sweet Sleep. Roy says, my doctor killed himself in his 9/11. My electrician, once removed, he died in his. He punched it, lost control, and guess what he lost? His life. So I don't think it's the car that matters. It's actually the fact of that impulse you have from your younger days. Sometimes it stays with us too long. So you could make a lot of money and spend it all and even more on top of it. So, guys, we have done a 2-hour show. I knew I wasn't going to say anything because I knew if I said it, it was going to happen. But it happened anyway. So, Randy is taking us out. If the bridge isn't up and God is willing, okay, or let's put God first. If God is willing and the bridge isn't up, I should see you day after tomorrow. And my goal is the sky and not the grave. And those of you, is there anybody in here still? Or you all got, we got a handful of people. I had a really nice slew of miracles or revelations from God in a row in the last 2 days. First, this lens made it through a lot, okay? And it looked like maybe it wasn't going to get here, and then ding dong, that was the hand of God bringing the lens here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, okay? Then I'm a big time studier who loves end times. When is Jesus coming back? How is he coming back? What's going to happen when he comes back? What's the rapture? Is the rapture really in the Bible? What's all this crap that they talk about? It's something new from the 1800s. 1892 is the first time anybody talked about the rapture. The rapture's at the beginning of the 7-year Armageddon tribulation period. No, the rapture's at the end of the tribulation period. I study all this stuff. Most of the people, they are Google smart and what somebody else said smart. They don't drill down. So I have a theory that's been developing, and it just sounds a little bit too strange. And I wanted a confirmation. You know what that means? That means when you get a thought and you think it's from God, okay, but you're not sure. Because anybody could say, God wants me to start a brand new religion. We're all going to put our asses up in the air 4 times a day. Okay? I don't want to say any more. So, and you could start a whole new religion based on God said it. Okay? But if you're really in tune with the Lord, what you want is a confirmation. You want to hear it in more ways than one, and you want to know it came from the Lord. And I got one. I got this idea on how the rapture is going to play out, and I've been developing it and stringing it along, stretching it, having it go back and forth in my mind. And it's like, it doesn't look like the rapture that's presented to you by a lot of the preachers that preach the rapture. Jesus is coming, the rapture is coming, and if you're not ready, you could be left behind, blah, 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 okay? And then they'll use some very, very famous scriptures, like Matthew chapter 24, where there'll be wars and rumors of wars and earthquakes and all this and all that, and then it'll go down, and then it'll eventually say, and then God will gather the elects from the 4 corners of the earth after all that stuff happened. And they'll go, see, I told you. Jesus says it right there. After all these things, he will gather the elect from the 4 winds of the earth, the 4 corners of the earth. And they'll use that to show you the rapture is not at the beginning of the tribulation period, which is a 7-year. It's at the end of the tribulation, okay? And then somebody else will say, yeah, but in Revelations, it mentions all this and this and the church, and then all this and this and the church. And it goes on like 7 times like that. And then the next 7 times, it says the same thing over, but it erases the words and the church. That means the church isn't there. It's gone. The church is you and me, okay? So that means the rapture will have happened. And that's at the beginning of the tribulation. All right? So so anyway, I've been studying that for so many years. We're talking back from the 80s. This is not something new, not something from last week. This is something that it has taken 72 years to develop, okay? So my weird sentence for anyone that wants to hear something very, very weird, and don't shoot me down just because you think you know better, okay? Because you don't know if you know better. I don't know if I know better. But the way it is shown to me by revelation of God is both people are correct. There is a rapture at the beginning of the tribulation, and there's another rapture at the end of the tribulation. There's two. Why didn't anybody think of that? Now, can that be borne out in the scriptures, or is that just a fluky idea that I have? No, there are scriptures that you could use specifically to show that the two are very different. Okay? They're not the same. So I needed somebody of high stature, a famous preacher, to have seen it besides me. Why would God give me something and not share it with somebody else? And I saw a lady, and she started talking about that, but she was screwy. She went way off the deep end, not right at all, but she had raptures all over the place, okay? Then a major preacher said exactly what I just told you. I was walking on the air. I was like 3 feet off the ground. God gave me a confirmation to what I had learned, and that was amazing, okay? And I'm tickled. I am so tickled on that. And then the final special thing that happened to me is I've been trying to make my Peter Gregg's chocolate chip cookies excellent, because I have the recipe for excellent, okay? But I wanted to move them over into making the cookies with fresh milled wheat, not the wheat you get from Kroger or from Publix, not King Arthur wheat, not Pillsbury, not gold medal flour, not all off-the-shelf wheat. I want to grind the wheat. It's called milled. I want to mill the wheat and make the cookies. And I couldn't get that recipe to come out as good as or better than my original recipe, which was very good. If any of you had purchased that, those cookies a couple of years back now, these match it and are even better. I am so thrilled. And the idea just came to me in the middle of the night. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-bum-ba-bum. Okay? So I tried it yesterday, and I went to bed. And you need to put the dough in the refrigerator. So at 3, 4 in the morning, it's like I was tossing and turning. I said, what the hell? I got up, I went in the kitchen, let's bake a couple of cookies. So I baked a couple of cookies, and then you got to wait an hour for them to cool down, because that chocolate is like liquid molten. It burn you, baby. Okay? And I had the cookie, and it's like, I only took 2 bites, and I went back to bed, and I'm thinking, oh, thank you, Jesus. You put the idea in my head, and this cookie is so good. And I went back to bed and laid down, and it was addictive. I had to get up out of the stinking bed, go back in the kitchen in my underwear, and eat another couple of... I finished the cookie, to be honest with you. But I got the recipe to make a healthier... It's got sugar. It's got brown sugar. Okay, it's got chocolate. But it doesn't have the poisonous flour that we eat. The processed flour that's in everything. Hamburger buns, hot dog buns, Danish, donuts, anything that's made with flour is not good for us. I know that. I'll still eat a donut, okay? But since I can make my own bread, I wanted to adapt that fresh milled wheat right out of the machine into a cookie, and it needs to taste as good, if not better, than the one that's using all the crap ingredients. So I finally got it. And now tomorrow, God willing, I should be going to Publix, and I need to get the walnuts, because I use pecans in this one. I didn't have walnuts. And the cookie calls for walnuts. And it does taste different with the walnuts versus the pecans. So I will be putting those cookies up for sale. They're not going to be cheap. Hello? All right? But I will be putting them up in the next few weeks as a way to have something to sell. Because when you eat those cookies, you're eating fiber, okay? And your mouth doesn't know it. Honest to God, you don't eat that and go like, this cookie tastes very high in fiber. No, the cookie tastes like, where is a glass of milk? I need a glass of milk with this cookie, okay? Now, bring me a glass of milk. So all those miracles at one shot, I had a couple of really great days. All right, guys, that should bring us to the end of our show. We had a mighty fine time, and I'm making fun of Ed Sullivan now. And God willing, and the bridge isn't up, I will see you Friday. My goal is the sky and not the grave. And remember, I love each of you. We get together just to make each other feel good, okay? That you are wanted, you are loved, and you are appreciated. All right, talk to you later. I'm going to say bye. Bye.